Cooking is basically making your dishes for buffing your combat, your life skilling, making worker feed. The higher that your cooking is, the different recipes that you can do and increased number of dishes that you can make when procking your mass cooking, which goes into the next topic, your mastery. Cooking mastery will determine your chance of mass procking any of your dishes that you're making. Your cooking mastery will increase the max dishes that you make, and you get a chance of making a higher dish that you're making. Sometimes your dish will have a green grade, blue grade, then yellow grade. Sometimes it'll be a blue grade, yellow grade, and a red grade. Sometimes you just have to combine some items together and there you go. You got a whole new dish. Mastery will determine all of that. And the last thing is mastery will also increase the amount of money that you can make when turning in your Imperial dishes. In order to do any type of cooking, you have to have a type of residence, a manor, anywhere that you can place down your cooking utensil. Great place to do your cooking. One example is over here in the Northern Wheat Plantation. Doing your cooking here is a great viable option with Calphion and all of the vegetables and meat around the area readily available. Another great option would be over here in Heidel, with one of the houses here at the corner being one of the closest distances to the Imperial Delivery. And another one would be over in the Mountain of Eternal Winter region, because you can get a house right over top of the storage and the central market with a hop, skip, and a stone throw away from the delivery vendors and NPCs over here. In order to get your cooking utensils, you do get some when you first start doing your cooking, and you get your little challenges. You can also buy them from the material vendors, like a cheaper little starter cooking utensil, and I want to say the Balanos cooking utensil you can buy from an NPC. Cooking utensils can be made from any tool workshop. As you can see, you get the little cooking utensil, then you get your Balanos. Then moving on down is the intermediate. The higher your cooking utensil grade, the less time that you will take when cooking. It'll decrease your cooking time and have higher durability, though there are some like the Balanos, Serendia, and the Calphion cooking utensils that will give you more durability but increase cooking time instead of reducing it, like say the intermediate, the normal, the advanced, supreme, and the Land of the Morning Light. Getting into the advanced, you have the advanced tool. The advanced tool is going to be one of the better tools that you can get until you start doing the Supreme and the Land of the Morning Light. These are easier to make than, say, getting the Supreme and the Land of the Morning Light, but they do have the lesser durability than the Supremes and the Land of the Morning Light. How many times can you hear that one in one sentence? And then you got the Supreme. Supreme cooking tool, it can be gotten from events. Logging in bonuses can give them out sometimes. You have the dailies over there in the Mountain of Eternal Winter region that you can do for the Oxider Crystals. The Oxider Crystals can be turned in for them. You have the Dark Rift bosses that can be killed for your Supreme cooking utensil. Currency management UI will show you which ones will give you which utensil and for which currency. Cooking can give you the Imperial cooking. When you do the Imperial cooking deliveries, will give you the Supreme tool for 500. During certain events, you can kill the world bosses to get the Old Moon boss seal, which can be exchanged for any of the Supreme tools and also the repair tools for them. And then obviously other events that give you currencies will sometimes offer the chances to go and exchange them for the Supreme cooking tool. As for the Land of the Morning Light, the Land of the Morning Light tools can be made either by using any of the tool workshops here in the Land of the Morning Light. For example, over here, you can make the Land of the Morning Light. It will have more durability than the Advance, but it is a little bit more expensive than the Advance. For those who can't get the Supreme, it is your one step lower than the Supreme, but considering how the Supremes might have a little time gate and they can't be bought from the central market, your Land of the Morning Light might be your best in slot until you can manage to snab some of the Supreme tools. Just remember, it will have a more more higher resource cost when making them, but they can be made here in the Land of the Morning Light. Or if you guys get the Sang coins from doing any of the dailies here out in the Land of the Morning Light, they can be used to exchange for any of the cooking tools too. If you guys are needing to repair your tools, you can only repair the advanced tools, the supreme tools, and the Land of the Morning Light tools. Those are the tools that you can repair, but if you guys need to repair them, if you look at the tooltip, they will tell you which NPC you can go to with whichever tool and exchange that tool for the repair tool. It will consume the cooking utensil for the repair tool, but if you guys run out of durability on your tools, that's how you can get the repair tool to go ahead and repair it. This will apply to the Supreme, it will apply to the Land of the Morning Light. Each one has their own individual NPC that you will have to go to. With the Advance and the Supreme sharing, Land of the Morning Light will require its own little NPC, as you can see there. Just hover over the repair tool or even say the actual utensil. It will tell you the NPC to go and exchange your tool for the repair tools to keep your one tool going and not have to keep crafting more and more to unplace it, toss it, and place a new one. You can just have a stack of repair tools in your inventory. They don't weigh as much as the actual utensil, so you can keep, say, 11 in your inventory without having to deal with all of the weight that is applied. As you can see, virtually no weight was used in the placing of that, but if you throw in the cooking utensil, more weight is applied. So if you guys want to keep repairing and you don't want to have to deal with the weight, your repair tools are the perfect option to keep on hand and have a huge stack. I normally keep like 10 or 20 just to make sure that I don't ever run out of my cooking utensils. I don't have to sit there and exchange anymore to make up anymore, even though I do have the workshops and things set up for it. The repair costs can be a little more expensive with just the material costs for making up the tools to exchange into the repair tools, but just an idea and just food for thought. Right, now that we've gotten down the tools, let's go down your gear. Gear is really simple. It's really extremely easy. When you start leveling out your cooking, you are given a little basic cook clothes. These can also be bought from the luxury vendor. Applying an equipment tailoring coupon will make them into a costume for an added +10 cooking experience, but without making them into a costume, they will just give a base +10 cooking experience. For those who are looking into leveling, I suggest moving into the silver embroidered. Your silver embroidered can be made at any costume mill in any major town, wherever you can find a costume mill to be rented, or can be bought off the central market. Your silver embroidered normally comes with a -1 second on your cook time and a +1 movement speed, but the higher you go, the higher those bonuses will be applied, giving you at +4 a grand total of +25% cooking experience and -5 second on your cooking time. I don't advise trying to enhance a +3 up to a +4. The sweet spot to go for power leveling for just starting out is going to be your +3, but if you're brave enough and you really want to try your luck, you can always try to tap it up for that +4. I suggest buying it. Now, if you're really lucky and you really want to try your luck, you can always try to go for the +5. Your +5, it is a little bougier and will cost you a lot more money at 4.5 bill here on NA, but maybe if you're lucky and you can get the tap, maybe you can get it. Your Logia gear will entitle your accessories, the clothes. First, you would get all of your Logia. Just starting out, you don't have any money, nothing, you get your Logia. If you're starting out with money, start out with your Tri-Logia. Your Logia is going to be your easiest to get, your easiest to enhance. The higher the tier your Logia goes, the higher mastery that you get, so you can go ahead and try to get more of the mass procs down, more Imperial Delivery money back. Trying to enhance your Logia is a failed idea. Like, don't do it, just buy your Tri. But if you're brave enough, it's a fixed enhancing chance. There's no way to cron it yet, and they are doing that. So in the near future, if you guys are watching this after the fact, you will be able to cron it. I'm not sure what the price of cronning it will be, but enhancing Logia is easier than Manas, but don't do it. Go for your Tri from the central market. The numbers here are a lie. I don't care what anyone says. That's a lie. Next on up is going to be your Rajuro or Roruju cook's clothes. I don't suggest going for the blue grid. The blue grid is such a waste. It's a money sink. You can just go and get your Manos. Your Tri Manos is a lot better of a money investment than going for the blue. But if you guys do, it is the middle ground. You can get that. It will have a little bit more mastery than the Logia, but lower than the Manos. The enhancing chances are a little harder than going for the Logia. As you can see, 30% from the 40% for the same Logia. Same thing. The numbers are a lie. Don't listen to it. Don't try to enhance it. Don't even bother with the blue grade. Stick with your Manos and your Logia. Your accessories, you want to start out with your Trilogia. Your Trilogia are going to be the best accessories that you can get starting out. It doesn't matter if you're using the silver embroidered, if you're using your Logia, if you're using Manos, your Trilogia is going to be the first accessories that you will buy, and then you can start working on maybe trying to enhance them up to Tet. If you guys don't want to enhance them up to Tet or trying to go for Pen, you can always move on to the Manos accessories. Manos accessories and the Manos clothes are harder to come by. They are a lot more costly to make, but they do offer a lot more mastery than, say, your Logia will. Your Manos has more mastery. It is the better mastery clothes to go for, but in the grand scheme of things, I'd avoid going for your mastery cook's clothes in general, like cooking with it. This will only be used for your Imperial deliveries. Alchemy has a lot better with the mastery crafting than with cooking. Your cooking, you're mainly going to use the mastery for the Imperial delivery, trying to get more of that money back. The higher mastery, the more money you can get back. And mastery, like I said, mastery clothes, the Manos is a lot harder to get. You can craft them. You can do the Imperial delivery to turn in the seals to get one, but it will take 10,000 seals for the clothes. They can be bought off the central market too. Pen clothes are easy to get. They're easier to try to tap for and easier to buy. Don't try to go for the accessories. The accessories have to be bought 150 bill here on NA, and the sales are usually not that many. Pen is a meme. You go for, if you're really brave and or you have a lot of money to go and throw away like a lottery. Costumes, like I mentioned about the cook's clothes, the cook's clothes can be bought from the luxury vendor in any major town. They can be obtained from completing professional cook in your challenge tab, but if you apply the equipment tailoring coupon, it will make these into a costume that can be worn. Or if you guys are going more of a pay to win route, you have the Kanape clothes. The Kanape clothes will give a plus 15% cooking experience and a -2 second on your cooking time for the added set. The head can also be replaced. If you guys wanted to wear the chef's hat, I'm not sure if it's for any other class, but this will also apply for the Kanape head too if you guys wanted. If you guys did not want to have the normal head, that's also an option. It will cost you guys pearls. But now after you've gotten your gear, you decided which ones you want to go for. Now we can start looking at the artifacts, the lightstone combinations, everything that has to do with cooking. You can get the cooking artifacts from doing your Imperial turn-ins, but you can get the cooking experience and the cooking mastery artifacts from doing the Imperial turn-ins, and you have a chance of getting the generic mastery life skill, the life skill experience, and processing mastery, processing experience, and processing success rate artifacts from doing the Imperial turn-in. So be wary on that, and you have a chance of getting your floral lightstone for doing the Imperial delivery. You have a chance of doing the bonus quest, but that's how you get the artifacts. I suggest going for the experience if you guys are trying to power level, or going for the mastery if you guys want more of the mass proc or more money back on the Imperial deliveries. Now, as for the combinations, much like with alchemy, we have Witch's Cauldron. Witch's Cauldron will give you plus 5% cooking experience, but will require 3 floral lightstone secrets. Next, we have Great Chef. That gives plus 8 cooking experience, which will require 4 of the floral lightstone secrets. Last on the totem pole is the Excellent Chef at plus 16 cooking experience, which will require 3 floral lightstone secrets and 1 iridescent lightstone. If you guys are wanting more back for your mastery doing the Imperial deliveries and things, trying to get more money, we have Feast of Favors. Feast of Flavors will give you plus 8 on your cooking mastery, but will require 3 floral lightstone stirs. Moving down, you have Best Cook Ever at plus 15 cooking mastery and will require 4 of the floral lightstone stirs. Next, you have Imperial Chef, which will give plus 30 cooking mastery. It will require the 3 floral lightstone stir and 1 iridescent lightstone. Now, the combination that I personally go for when I'm cooking is going to be right here, Fundamentals of Cooking. This will give -2 cooking time, cooking experience plus 10%, cooking mastery plus 20, and a plus 30 on your weight limit. This will require 1 secret floral lightstone, 1 floral lightstone stir, 1 windstone feather, and lastly 1 iridescent lightstone. This one is more of your mixture of your leveling, your mastery. Just if you don't want to have a little niche cooking type of thing, like this one is going to be the best little combination to go for. Now, if you guys are trying to power level your cooking, your choice and focus cooking is going to be the go-to. It will drop your mastery down by 500, but give you plus 35% cooking experience. This will require 2 of the secret stones, 1 wind mind, and lastly, the iridescent lightstone. Again, this is mainly just for your power leveling purposes only. Alchemy stones are really simple as usual. Your first starting alchemy stone will probably be the Treant's Tear. The first stone would be the blue grade life spirit stone, but because the quest is more available for a lot of the newer players coming in, and there's a lot of newer players coming in, the Treant's Tear will probably be the first stone and one of the best stones for power leveling, offering the plus 30% on the life experience. This will give the -1 second on your alchemy and cooking time and give plus 50 on your weight limit. So it's a nice starter stone, but if you guys are going the more traditional route, the blue grade life spirit stone is probably going to be more the route. They can be found either in Polyforest or can be bought off the central market and can be obtained from your alchemy, the little rare drops. These will give a -1.1 second on your alchemy and your cook time, but nothing else in terms of cooking. Moving on from the Treant's Tear and the blue grade life spirit stone, you have your sharp alchemy stone of life. Your sharp alchemy stone of life, not your splendent or the resplendent. Your sharp alchemy stone of life is going to be your sweet spot when it comes to any type of cooking, alchemy, life skilling in general. It will give -1.4 second on your cooking and your alchemy time and plus 75 on your weight limit. It's a lot easier to get. It's a lot easier to buy. You can have an easier time trying to tap up your alchemy stones than say going for the splendent or the resplendent. But the sharp alchemy stone of life is going to be the stone that you're gonna usually end out with. It's your best in slot until you start having to invest trillions into going for the better stone or waiting for that pre-order. Moving on from the sharp alchemy stone, you have my personal favorite is the Khan's Heart of Life. The Khan's Heart of Life, it does not have better bonuses than the sharp alchemy stone of life, but it does come with an added plus 25 on your life skill mastery passively. You can pop your sharp alchemy stone and then throw on your Khan's Heart to go ahead and use both bonuses without having to rely on popping both of them, because you can't. You guys need to repair your alchemy stones. Alchemy stones can be repaired one of 2 ways. You can either use oils, bloods, reagents, or you can use the mystical spirit powder that can be obtained by grinding down your blue grade life spirit stones that you can get from the Polyforest after you guys use them. Instead of tossing them or selling them, you can grind them down. You can exchange the Layla's petals for the mystical powder instead of exchanging them for the fairies, or you can get these from alchemy rare drops or certain events. Now that we've gone down the alchemy stones, let's move on. We got the Caphras journal. Obviously, I do have a guide for it. I will link it up in the corner and I will post it in the bottom. All that good stuff if you guys still need to go ahead and get it. It's a longer process. I mean, Cliff Notes, you can easily go through your adventure journal here, crows, go through through and do the Caphras and journal all the way up to 4. Once you finish the 4th one, you should be able to go do the quest from Alliston to choose any of the 3 books, one for combat, one for life, and one for contribution experience. There's not really much we can go down for the fairy, much like with alchemy. If you guys happen to get maybe continuous care, you can set up your buffs to automatically reapply from your fairy using it, and you don't have to do anything making it more AFKable. Or if you can get lucky, you could get the feathery step skill, which should, I guess, increase how many items that you can have over your weight, the weight penalty reduction up to 125%, but that's a RNG thing. If you get it, you get it. If not, well, it's not going to harm you with your whole alchemy session. Let's be real, it's not. Next are the pets. Again, there's not really much of an option, just like with alchemy. For cooking, you're going to be going for any of the pets, any of the life skilling pets that has your plus 1% life skill experience per tier. And as an added bonus, if you can get lucky enough, if you can get any pet that gives you the plus 5 on your cooking experience. Other than that, there's not really much of an option. You can go for the weight limit pets if you're having trouble on your weight limit, you're having trouble with the dishes or the ingredients or anything like that. The max that you can go is plus 50 on the weight limit, which is kind of a waste. I think the life experience would go a lot better than having more of the 50 weight limit. You can easily do that with your crystal presets and all of that. So starting out with the crystal presets we have for cooking, normally they're going to be basically 3 presets that you'll use. Same with alchemy. If you're trying to power level, I suggest going for all of your life crystals. Your life crystals can be obtained from doing the sniper hunting and or the fishing out there in the land of the morning light. You can also do the daily out there for the sand coins. The sand coins can be exchanged for the forest crystal, and then you can do simple alchemy to create your life crystal or the vital crystal. These will give at a full entire preset plus 80 on your life experience. That's if you're trying to power level, if you're trying to get up to guru or guru 50, guru 100. If you guys are trying to get more of your Imperial Delivery, the money back on the Imperial Deliveries, or just trying to get more of that mass procking done, going for a mastery build is a better option for you. I suggest going with all full vital crystals. These can be made the same way like the life crystal, using 2 different ingredients, but same forest crystal, simple alchemy. Go for the full preset of vital crystals if you guys want more mastery back. If you guys need weight, there are plenty of weight presets that you can experiment with. You can sit there and look around at the crystals that give you the weight limit increase, but for mine, here's what I'm using. My weight limit will increase by plus 460, and I think that's all that really matters for what we're doing here today. So let's talk about the Krogdalo donkey gear. The Krogdalo donkey gear is a really great horse set or donkey set for life skillers. One piece of the set will give you a plus 3% on life experience. Having 3 will give you plus 5. Having the full set of 5 will give you plus 10% on your life experience. To get these, you have to do the fishing out there in Papa Crune. The center of the island in Waves of Rest has a chance of getting the rainbow bone or the rainbow petal coin, which can be exchanged for the iridescent pebble, and those are used to make your Krogdalo gear. You have to be on the donkey to actually use the buff. As you can see, use it. It will have an hour duration with a 4-minute cooldown, so after the 4 minutes you can reapply the buff. So let's talk about the buffs. Starting out with our pay to win value pack, which will give us plus 30% life experience and plus 200 on our weight limit. This will also increase money that we can get back for doing our sales on the central market. So if you guys are wanting to try to sell the dishes, your value pack will help out with getting more money back. Blessing Akama will increase the amount of materials or ingredients that you can place inside of your central market and increase your maids for taking the materials, the dishes, sending them to your storage or the central market. Lastly, we have the Secret Book of the Old Moon, which will increase your life experience plus 50% and and also give you the ability to use your Villa buff from the Nefart tent if you guys decided to go ahead and buy that from the Pearl shop. Moving on, we have the staples of any type of life skilling. We have the seafood crunch meal comes with the negative 0.6 seconds plus 10 life experience and will give us plus 100 on our weight and the added plus 25 for the life mastery. It's a great meal. It will last 120 minutes. These can be made using cooking, be obtained from certain events, the Oasis vendor, and or can be bought off the central market too. You have the lesser foods like your teff bread, the green grade, and the blue grade, which will give you less time. These can be made from cooking and or be bought off the central market, but don't waste your time, guys. Stick with the seafood crumbs meal and spare yourself the headache. Next, we have your Vidir draft and the magic Vidir draft. The normal Vidir draft will be made using alchemy, and the magical will be just your Vidir draft added with the magical elixir that can be obtained from certain events and or the Black Spirit Adventure, but these give negative 1 second on your cooking and your alchemy time plus 20 life experience and will give you plus 200 weight limit. It's a great draft to use when you're doing your cooking, your alchemy, just any type of life skilling. Making it into a magical Vidir draft will increase it up to 60 minutes from the 15 minutes that the normal Vidir draft is. Moving on, we have Perfume of Swiftness. It's an okay perfume. It's more of the expensive kind, but it will give us plus 200 weight limit, plus 20 life experience, and I guess plus 5 on the movement speed if that's something you're into, but this will be more expensive at 7.3 million each. These are given out during events. They can be made using your alchemy, and you have to do your blue whale hunting. They can be bought off the central market if that's something that you guys want to do. Moving on, we have the Secret Book of Florin and the Gioven Grolin support scroll. Both of these are the same, with giving plus 100 of your life skill mastery and plus 20% life skill experience. These do stack, so you can pop both of these on. You can get the Secret Book of Florin from doing the weekly Liana quest and turning them into either Liana or Ludwig. These can be given out for certain events, logging in. They're really, really easy. There is a weekly limit if you guys are turning in the Liana dailies and using the materials together like that. Support scroll, however, you can only get these from graduating a seasoned character, and or certain events will allow you to do them. So go through your managed currency tab and see if you have an option to exchange any of the currency for given Grolin scroll or any of the buff items that you possibly can. You never know. Next item on the list is going to be the Lora's Warm Black Tea. This will give us plus 30% life experience and plus 100 on our weight limit. These can be only acquired through the Black Spirit Adventure and sometimes during events. Login bonuses whenever Pearl Abyss decides to hand them out. They will last 180 minutes, though they cannot be bought off the central market, making them a little bit harder to come by. So if you get them, wait around to use them and only pop them for when you really want to go for that cooking session. Moving down the line are going to be the extra life experience scroll plus 50%. These can be obtained from doing the Black Spirit Adventure to get your normal event ones. To get the non-event ones, you can get them for buying like certain little packs in the Pearl shop. They give them out like a little added bonus, which moves on to the next item that cannot be used alongside them, the Sealed Book of Life. The Sealed Book of Life will give you plus 50% life experience, and that's in the title. This one is 1 day, but they can go up to a max of 30 days, and you can keep reapplying them after their 24-hour cooldown period is done, or however long the cooldown period is. But you can continue to apply them until that time limit is done, and then you'll have to go ahead and resort to using your life scroll, the plus 50 life scroll. Other item that can be obtained every day for logging in is the Mercenary Scroll of Life. This will add plus 50% life experience, and when you add 3 of these together, they will increase it to plus 150% with no added time, still to 60 minutes. So if you guys are logging in and you've been storing up any of your Mercenary Scrolls of Life, combine them and use that extra 150% while not having to deal with that extra weight or the inventory space. Then the last one that you can look at is going to be the GM's Blessing. GM's Blessing 1, 2, and 3. The higher you go, the more bonuses you get. At GM's Blessing 2, you do get life experience plus 10%. If you guys have been playing any type of maintenance, they do issue them out, and there's no other way that we can get them. So if a maintenance is going a little bit too long for their liking, they will compensate us with a couple of these. Other event items will work, like say Ellie's magical elixir here. If you have them, use them if you're trying to power level or you're trying to go for the mastery, but other items and other lesser items will work. Now, when you guys are in a guild, you guys do have an option of having your guilds pop your buffs. Your guild pops buffs, you will have a chance of getting the Guru's Touch. The Guru's Touch will add plus 40% life experience. If you guys are looking for some cooking quests before you even get started with your mass cooking and trying to get those dishes made for money, you can always open up your recurring quest tab. Liana will have a weekly for your cooking and a daily for your cooking for some added little bonuses. You can do the daily for the Imperial cooking, and your weekly is going to be for the Witch's Delicacy. You'll have to make 50 of them, but now after all of the family shared life skilling updates has come out, there are no more quests that are available. One other thing that you guys can start to look at before you start to make your dishes and trying to go for money is the progression pass. If you look at the progression pass, heading over to the farming and the cooking, you do have several other options to go and play around with to see if cooking is going to be something that you can look forward to. And a lot of the recipes in here is going to be a lot of the recipes that I will suggest on trying to make, like your staples, your grilled bird meat, your vinegar, and your pickled vegetables. These right here, those are going to be the three that I will always tell you to go for. So look in the progression pass for completing the farming and the cooking. If you complete 5 of the objectives, you get a box that will give you 3 of the Vidir drafts, 3 of the perfume of swiftness, 1 extra life experience scroll, and a blue grade life spirit stone. Completing 10 will give you a supreme cooking tool. Completing 15 will give you a green grade sturdy alchemy stone for your chances at trying to tap up for the sharp. 20 objectives completed will give you 2 of the secret book of Florence, and lastly 25 completed will give you a 7-day a week worth of the sealed book of life. But completing these will complete this whole completion rate. The more that you complete, the more bonuses that you can be awarded. So check out your progression pass. Trying to get into it can be done right here, hitting the option there. If you guys have it, I'm not sure if that's there for you guys, but while you're out there cooking, you do have the option for your cooking guru quests. Your cooking guru quests are normally going to be something that you're going to have to do and try to tackle after you started leveling, because it will require more cooking level to do, say like beginner 10, apprentice 5, and you have to have the prerequisite quest done in order to progress through it. But it will give you a nice amount of cooking experience and some sharps back for the whole endeavor. These can be tackled while you're doing your cooking. It will take you around to different NPCs to interact with, but normally they're cooking NPCs, and they should have little cooking quests around them that can be done for little odds and ends. Nothing really huge, but I suggest taking a look and completing all of your life leap cooking guru quests. There's only 12 of them. They shouldn't take you that long. We do get a chance of getting that bonus quest for cooking to make the 100 pickled vegetables and turn it into Liana, but you have a choice between the 1,000 milk, you have a choice between 1,000 egg, 500 green grade onion, green grade pepper, green grade garlic, or a green grade hot pepper. And you also get the 300 contribution points. Yeah, you have a small chance of getting that for doing your cooking. Your guild does have guild missions that you guys can pop for doing 120, which is delicacy, or 40, 20, depending on the guild quest that they decide to pop. Now, if you guys are trying to buy all of your fruit, we do have the option of going down here for the fruit vendor here in Caliphion. If you guys are over here in Elton, there should be a vegetable vendor over here. If you guys are trying to buy any of the vegetables needed, you do have the option of hitting the find NPC and typing in the NPC that you're looking for. If you're looking for the fruit vendors can be found by clicking their name, and it will automatically set you guys up for your auto pathing out to whatever NPC that you guys chose. Choose the closest one, and you guys should be able to go ahead and buy them at a cheap price for a large amount. Chicken meat here in Narcion. Your best spot to get your chicken meat is going to have to be here in Bartali or say over here in Finto Farm, whichever one or both if you guys want to. But best way to get it is to place your workers down on the nodes and have them passively get it throughout the week. Another option you guys can do is doing the cuckoo bird killing over here near Heidel. One other option would be doing the sniper hunting over here in the Land of the Morning Light. You can sniper hunt the birds, and on an off chance you guys are out here in the Land of the Morning Light, there are cuckoo birds that can be killed for manual gathering for more of the bird meat. Okay, so Olve has a nice little orchard over here for the grapes that you can gather for your manual gathering if that's something that you guys want to go for, or if you guys want. Velia does have a couple apple trees around here and fruit trees, but mainly I would stick on either buying them, or another option, you can use the rice as a grain too, but any grain like the corn or potatoes. Corn can be manually gathered out here in Logia. The potatoes can be gathered over here in Bartali and Logia. You can go for, say, the barley over here. Workers can be placed on the northern wheat plantation to also get any of the wheat, barley, paprika. Another node to place your workers on is going to be out here in Serendia for the cooking honey and your pumpkins. Milk can be obtained from milking cows over here in Olivia, Calafion, for example, even Commosylvia. Lastly, let's talk about the meat. A couple good areas to get the red meat needed would be the elk out here in Bear. There is an added chance to get any of the black gem fragments needed for any of your mastery taps. The sheep over here in Sheep Mountain next to Heidel for how close it is to the storage. Lastly, you also have the weasels and the wolves here next to Olvia. Another great option would be doing your matchlock hunting or doing the sniper hunting out in the Land of the Morning Light. Lion meat can be found out here in Arahaza, scorpion meat, and the snake meat are best found out here in Shira Runes, or they can be bought off the central market too. Then we cannot forget about farming. Placing down a fence is a great way to be able to start farming for any of the vegetables needed for any of your cooking, or even the meat and beef with any of the cows. You can farm chickens there too, but that is the only way to start manually getting any of the green or blue grade vegetables. They can also be bought off the central market too. Those who are looking for fish, you can either manually fish in any open water, or a couple places to place some workers would be over here in Etheria. All of these nodes over here will supply all of the fish needed to start drying to start making any of that pet feed. And just keep this in mind, if the recipe requires any freshwater fish, none of the ocean fish can be used, whereas if the recipe requires any fish from the ocean, like say an octopus, a mud skipper cannot be used as a substitute. There are some mushrooms that can only be gathered, like the rainbow mushrooms over here in Commosylvia if you gather them around the polyforest. Mesima and chanterelle mushrooms can be gathered out here in the Mountain of Eternal Winter region. As for the seafood, like the lobster, the dried pearl oyster flesh, or say the shrimp for example, those can only be found while underwater gathering at a place like say Anaha Island. The citron can be found out either in the Mountain of Eternal Winter region in the Mazeland citron farm, or can be found out there in the Land of the Morning Light where you can manually gather it. As for the flowers, flowers can easily be found out there in the northern wheat plantation. And then as for the cinnamon, teff, paprika, nutmeg, star anise, fig, pistachio, date palm, these can all be found out in the Valencia region. I suggest taking a look at all of the nodes that you have and seeing which ones you can afford with your contribution. All of these can also be bought off the central market too if you guys do not have the workers or the contribution to go ahead and rent anything. Just check around the nodes and see which ones that you guys want to go for and which value in your region is less. Say sometimes your corn will be valued less than the potato. Sometimes your sweet potato will be valued less, but let's move on to the recipes. The easiest recipe when you guys are first starting out, before you have any type of money to throw into it or any type of skill to really know any of the higher recipes, is going to be your grilled bird meat. Your grilled bird meat is really easy to get the materials for. The chicken meat can be obtained from using any worker, say over there in Velia. The farms have a chicken little node that can be obtained. Next would be your deep frying oil, salt, and cooking wine. If you guys are out here in the land of the morning light, it would be cottonseed oil, metzel, and salt. These can be obtained from any cooking vendor that you can buy any of the materials from. Easiest recipe that you can possibly make. It will power level you all the way up to artisan with no problem. You can even go all the way up to master if you guys wanted to. After beginner 6, another great option is going to be your cooked rice. Your cooked rice is a great option because the spring water can be obtained from any material vendor, just like with your salt and your oils. And the rice, you can go out to the Butte County to manually gather the hundreds acres of like just rice fields out here, or you can have your workers placed out here in the Nopsay Butte County on the node itself to get passive rice throughout the week. The cooked rice is a great option for just how easy it is to stock up all of the rice. Other options are obviously going to have to be your essence of liquor. Your essence of liquor is another easy one with needing just any flour, leavening agent that can be bought from any material vendor, and any type of fruit, which your fruit can be brought from the vendors that will sell you your materials. Essence of liquor, any of the fruit can be bought and or can be manually obtained, having your workers gather them. They can be bought off the central market too. You will need vinegar. Vinegar is a great other recipe to get familiar with. The vinegar can be made using your fruit, raw sugar, leavening agent. These can be found at any material vendor, obviously. Same thing from the last recipe with strawberry. The corn can be obtained from manually gathering. Workers can obtain them from being placed on a node. Velia has some pretty good corn, potato, and that's how you would make your vinegar. Vinegar is a great way to go ahead and power level. Next up the list is going to be your pickled vegetables. Your pickled vegetable will require 8 vegetable, like say cabbage, paprika, pumpkin, Napa cabbage. Workers can be placed on certain nodes like the pumpkin node over there in Serendia or the northern wheat plantation for the paprika, but they can gather all of that and have that ready and waiting. Now, moving up, we have the Butte County gut baps. These are easy because you can get any of these materials by manually gathering them, like the radish and the Napa cabbage out here in the Butte County. You can have workers gathering them out in the same area. The cooked rice, you've already made them up, trying to power level from beginner 6. The mineral water can be found at the material vendor. And lastly, any red grade meat like the deer, gazelle, lamb, fox, rhino, beef, sea lion, rabbit, raccoon, weasel, bear, wolf, goat, and or pork. Those are a couple easy recipes to go ahead and start power leveling. Recipes to start making money. We're going to do this in 2 different categories. I'm going to go down just making money, like selling the dishes, and then I'm going to go for the Imperial route because there's like 2 different ways to go about it. And the Imperial is actually worth doing more than, say, the Alchemy was. If you guys are trying to get any information about your cooking, 2 things. 1, this will go by your region. Each region, your ingredients will be valued different. Your dishes will be valued different. The overall availability is different. So just check around your region to make sure the dishes is worth your time. But over here on NA, this is what we're going to be going by. And 2, whenever you go ahead and start doing any type of cooking, load up Videolytics. It is a perfect website to go and do any of your cooking calculating, your Imperial cooking, any life skill related resource that you could possibly need to try calculating. Videolytics is a great resource to have loaded up. But now, by going by Videolytics, one of the best dishes to start making any type of money is going to be your hard-boiled shellfish. This will be a little bit harder to come by by with needing the dried pearl oyster fish from your underwater gathering. It will take 2 of the dried pearl oyster, 3 essence of liquor, 5 olive oil, 2 hot pepper, and 4 of the garlic. The higher grade your cooking materials, the less that you'll have to use, but it will decrease the value of the dish with having more money thrown into the resources. I guess the value of the resources, but this is going to be one of the higher value dishes that you can make. Just it will require you to actually go out and manually gather for it. Moving away from the seafood like the seafood meals, like anything that requires your underwater gathering, you have your Dalbo gukbap. Your Dalbo gukbap is a little harder to get also with needing your goosefoot. Goosefoot leaf can be found in any of the Land of the Morning Light towns. If you guys look around, they should be green with pink flowers, but you can find them scattered all around any of your major towns here in the Land of Morning Light. It will require your cooked rice, mineral water, 2 bracken. So if you guys have been using your workers to gather your bracken, or you guys like to go out there and manually gather your bracken, that's one way to go and use said bracken. Your red pepper powder, which can be made by grinding down 5 hot peppers. The goosefoot and your pepper can be a little more expensive, but it's not too bad. That's going to be the second type of dish to make money with. The Mudo Gukbap is going to be next down on the list. Those can be made using the rice flour from grinding up your rice, your garlic, any red meat, mineral water, and your rice. And then finally, the next one is going to be your Biot County, which I've already given you the recipe. If you guys are more old school, obviously, you're going to have the Margoria meal, followed by your Special Dragonese meal. After your Special Dragonese meal, it's a tie between your Serendia meal and your Special Dragonese meal. But those are a couple ideas if you guys are trying to go the old school route, with the Valencia meal being over top of Balanos meal. Now, if you guys are trying to go for which meals to cook for the Imperial cook boxes. For the Imperial cooking, this can be broken up into several brackets. So I'll go for the best in slot for every little bracket. Starting out the list of which recipes are the best for the Imperial cooking, starting out with our apprentice boxes, we have the aloe cookies. Aloe cookies are one of the best for doing your apprentice cooking box. These will require 5 aloe, 7 grain of any type, 4 sugar, or 2 raw sugar, and lastly 3 of the cooking honey. The cooking honey can be found with your workers over there in Serendia. You can manually gather them over there in the Balanos farce using a matchlock. Any of these ingredients can be bought off the central market, but the aloe cookie is going to be the best in slot for your apprentice cooking boxes. Fruit and vegetable salad is going to be the best in slot dish to make for your skilled cook boxes. This will require 1 vinegar, 4 grape or any fruit, 4 of any vegetable, and 2 of the cooking wine. Next, we have the professional, is going to be the cooked rice. Your cooked rice can be made with 5 rice and 2 of the spring water, but that's the best in slot for going for your professional cooking box. For the artisan cook box, your best in slot recipe to make is going to be your coconut cocktail. These can be made by using the full-bodied magulay, or however you pronounce that, 2 coconut, 1 of any fruit, 5 mineral water, and 2 of the essence of liquor. And that's the best recipe to go for your artisan box. Now moving on, we have the master box. The master box is going to be your milk tea. Your milk tea recipe is the best in slot recipe for going for the master cook box. This will require 2 of the tea with fine scent, 3 of the milk, 3 cooking honey, and lastly 2 of any flour. Obviously, we have the guru boxes left, right guys? And we can't mention the guru boxes without mentioning the best in slot recipe to use for any guru box, which is going to be your Valencia meal. Your Valencia meal is a little bit harder to make with requiring all the dishes, but it will give you back the most money for self-made and doing your Imperial turn-ins. To make these, it will require couscous, teff sandwich, the King of Jungle Hamburg, Fig Pie, and Date Palm Wine. All of those combined will make the Valencia meal, and those can be used for the guru boxes now. An easier alternate method to getting any of your boxes made, a couple options that you guys have is the hard-boiled shellfish to turn into the guru boxes. That will be the second down from your Valencia meal on your most money back. You can make the Serendia meal, the Calpheon meal, your Odalita meal, and finally the easiest one with the materials readily available is going to be your Butte County gut baps. Those can be used to make your guru boxes. And then you have your Balanos meal, your special Balanos, your Medea meal, but your best one is going to have to be your Valencia, your hard-boiled shellfish, and your Serendia meal. Those three there will get you back the most money for your self-made. Now, if you guys are buying it, that's a whole different story. We're not going to really get into that. I really don't deal with buying it, but still, your Valencia meal will be the king of that. Always go with the Valencia meal. You can buy your meals and things to help out with just trying to get them quicker, but personally, I would stick with self-made. Self-made all day, every day, hands down. After you guys have done your cooking, you guys have gotten a lot of dishes, and you start to get any of your byproducts, you will start to get the Witch's Delicacy. The Witch's Delicacy is a great little byproduct, which being able to be turned in for either the 900 contribution points and 30 cooking experience, 120 tea, or 500 beer. Now, when it comes to the cooking contribution, this can go several ways with either going for the milk. The milk is a good turn-in. It saves you having to go out there and manually gather the milk from any of the cows, but you can use the Delicacy for the milk. The milk is another good turn-in. These can be turned into either any Liana in any major town, or from Nadia Rowan over there in Olivia in a little tavern there. Imperial cooking. Imperial cooking can only be done once a day. You do have a limit on how many can be turned in, with it being determined by your contribution. The more contribution points you have, the more boxes that can be made. The higher your cooking, the higher your cooking boxes that you can make. So if you have beginner, you can only make beginner. If you have skilled, you can only make skilled. But each box will have a predetermined set of dishes that can be made. If you take a look, guru boxes have this list here, but they can be turned in for a amount of money. It will give you how much the normal price is. Say the base price of my guru cooking boxes are 320. With my mastery, it will put it up to 800. And I have a daily delivery limit. These limits will apply to both your cooking and your medicine. So if you turn in your medicine, you cannot turn in your cooking. And if you turn in your cooking, you cannot turn in your alchemy. There is no way to increase your distance or anything like that. So where you make them is where you sell them. Where you sell them is how much you'll make, so on and so forth. It's one base limit other than the mastery that's applied. You can turn them in to get the seals. The seals can be turned in for a wide variety of materials. If you guys take a look, like I stated earlier, 10k seals can get you your Manos tools, your Manos clothes. 500 can get your cooking tool, Cobalinus, any of the spellbound tools, sunset, dyed wool, 50 milk, and 100 of the eggs. I think that's going to be everything for our cooking. If I missed anything, let me know, comment it, leave a like, or share this around if you guys found this helpful. But that's going to be all of our cooking, everything that we can possibly do. A brief little overview, a summed up way to get you guys started to power level and or making some money without going like really in depth with everything.